Alright, welcome back everybody. On today's session we'll be doing a prenatal Pilates. So it is a whole body workout appropriate to women in pregnancy, and there'll be a big focus on the pelvic floor as well, which is obviously super important. Let's get going. Alright, let's get started. So our first exercise, we're actually going to be on the floor on our back, starting with some bridges. After the 28th week of pregnancy, we shouldn't really be lying flat on our back because we're going to be moving. We're not actually really going to be on our back, so if you're getting lightheadedness, dizziness, shortness of breath, just come out of that position, or you can prop yourself up on a chair like this instead. Like that, so you can be doing the exercise from there. That's one adjustment. Or you could prop pillows up underneath your back as well. But if you're otherwise feeling fine, you're not getting lightheadedness, dizziness, shortness of breath, you're fine. So just monitor for those symptoms, and if you are getting those symptoms, we'll adjust accordingly. Okay, on our back, let's start. So we're going to be rolling up through our spine there, one vertebrae at a time, rolling back down. Really important we keep breathing, so we're going to exhale on the way up, inhale down. We're going to get into a rhythm here, and then we're going to include our pelvic floor. So exhale up, inhale down, exhale up, inhale down. Alright, we'll do two more here, and then we're going to include our pelvic floor, and that's where it gets tricky. Really challenges our brain. Okay, last one. And at the end of this one, what we're going to do, we're going to keep the same breathing and everything. We're going to go pelvic floor on, exhale, rolling up, relax pelvic floor, inhale, down. Pelvic floor, exhale, relax, inhale, exhale, pelvic floor, inhale, relax. Keep going with that there, with the pelvic floor as well. But you can see it gets really, really challenging on the brain and the body to be able to coordinate the pelvic floor and the breath there. So a lot of the time Pilates really challenges our brain as well as our body, and it's obviously our brain that controls everything, so that's an important factor. Good. I'm going to go a couple more here. Good, and one more with the pelvic floor there. And down, good. Arms out to the side, and just roll those knees side to side, bit of a hip roll. And on our side, we're going to do a bit of a clamshell. So knees bent, roll your heels into the air, hip bone should stay facing forward, rising that knee up into the air, really squeezing the glute there. Hip bone should stay facing forward that whole time, and they're not rocking around. So working on our pelvic stability and our glute strength. Good, keep going. I like to think about the glute as a really wet sponge with this. You might have heard me say that before, but you're really wringing that water out as you bring the knee up. So really squeezing. Good, we'll go two more here. 1, 2, hold it at the top. We're just going to do some pulses. Keep breathing as well. I bet a lot of you had stopped there, but keep breathing. Good, keep going, keep going. 1, 2, 3, and break. Very good. Moving into a bit of a side plank position. So elbow should be under the shoulder. We're going to do a thread the needle side plank, so we're getting nice thoracic mobility as we thread underneath. And then we're opening and lifting. Coming back down, threading, opening and lifting. If you want extra challenge, you can stay up in the air the whole time. But if you need to come back down, please do. It's actually quite challenging. Good. And one more. Good. And just resting down on your side now, we'll do an open the book stretch. So knees bent, arms out in front, opening, and your head follows your hand, trying to get your opposite shoulder to the ground. With all the body changes in pregnancy, like bust size, ribs increasing, get more tension through your neck and upper back and mid back as well. This is really nice to open up all those areas. And a good one for postpartum as well, when you're nursing baby a lot and getting really tight. Good. And one more. Perfect. Okay, coming onto all fours before we do our other side with a bit of a cat-cow stretch. So sticking the butt out, head comes up, and then arching up as tall as you can, and just go as far as you're comfortable. Let your symptoms guide you. When I was pregnant, going into extension this way was actually quite uncomfortable to a certain extent through my abdominals, so just go as far as you're comfortable. And yeah, definitely don't push through anything. Good, keep breathing if you'd stopped breathing. Good, and I want you to find your neutral now. So neutral is where your spine's nice and flat, like a table. If I had a glass of water, it's not going to shift anywhere. You're going to go into a bird dog, so opposite arm, opposite leg, lifting off. And go really slow with this movement. Slow is harder, it challenges our control more. And keep breathing. Good, keep going. Yeah, really good for our shoulder and our hip stability. So good whole body exercise. And it's nice sometimes in this position just to get the weight of baby off you as well. Good, we'll go 2 more each side. Keep breathing. And last one. Good. All right, coming into a high kneeling position, what we're going to do is go into a squat there, and then up, arms out to the side, squeezing between our shoulder blades there. So squat for our legs, up, squeezing between those shoulder blades, so we're opening up through our mid-back again where it gets really tight, but also strengthening those postural muscles. And make sure you're still breathing. There's 2 things I say to patients all the time in Pilates. It's breathe and slower. We try to do our movements really fast, but slow is often harder. Good, keep going. If you wanted to as well with this particular movement, you could just grab a couple of cans of like beans or something in your kitchen just to add weight to this movement. But otherwise, if you're really focusing on engaging those muscles between your shoulder blades, you'll still feel those muscles working. Good, 2 more here. Good. Good. Staying in this position, we're just going to do some pelvic floor holds, so working on our pelvic floor muscle endurance. So when you're ready, we're going to squeeze and hold for 10 seconds. If you've never done pelvic floor exercises before, it's a good time to go and check in with a women's health physio in person just to make sure that you're doing everything correctly and there's no issues there, so you're getting proactive relax in pregnancy. And a lot of people aren't aware of how they're actually doing their pelvic floor because we can't see those muscles. But if you're not sure, a good way to start is think about around the anus, those muscles there. It's funny to think about, but squeezing those muscles, that often gets a good contraction there. All right, when we're ready, we're going to go again for another 10-second hold, up, and keep breathing as well. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Good. relaxation is just as important as that on squeeze as well. A lot of the time people don't let go properly, so properly letting go, really important as well. All right, and one more here, squeezing, let's go, 10 seconds. Keep going, keep breathing. Good. And relax. Good. Take a few deep breaths into your belly there. So not chest breathing, really breathing into our belly there. And that's a really good reset for our pelvic floor and a lot of our deeper stabilizing muscles as well. It just gets them to properly relax. Right, good job. On our side, on the other side now, we'll do those clamshells. So feet in the air, opening and squeezing those glutes. Good, keep going, keep breathing. If you'd stopped again, you guys will be sick of me saying breathe, breathe. Good, 4 more. Good, and hold it at the top, and we'll do some pulses there and keep breathing through these as well. It should be getting a nice burn in that glute now. Good, 2 more. Good. Give that bum a bit of a pat. All right, in our side plank, we'll do our thread the needle side plank. So I'm going to come straight up here, but remember you can drop down. So twisting under and opening. Twisting under and opening. Twisting under and opening. But you should feel this through your shoulder, your mid-back for that stretch. Your hip, you might feel that's working as well, and our obliques. So very much a whole body. Good, and we'll go one more here. Good. Coming down our side, we'll do that open the book stretch. So opening through that chest. Such a nice stretch, this one. And you might also find that you're not totally symmetrical, like one side might be a fair bit tighter than the other or weaker. That's really common. Good, and one more. Good. Coming up just into sitting, we're just going to do a couple of stretches here. So I'll do a butterfly stretch, trying to get those knees down to the ground, stretching out our adductor, our groin muscles there, which can get really tight in pregnancy. This may be a nice stretch if you've got pelvic girdle pain as well, but there can be lots of causes for pelvic girdle pain. Good, and we'll do a bit of a glute stretch. So if you've got quite a belly now from your baby, you might need to lean back a fair way to be able to get your ankle up there, but otherwise you can sit ankle to opposite knee. Just roll those knees around. You'll feel different areas in that hip that are quite tight as well, so play around with it. You can spend more time in those spots where it feels really good as well. And swapping sides. Good. Good. All right, up into standing now. So we've just got 2-3 more exercises here. So we'll do a bit of an RDL to get the backs of our legs working as well. So soft knees, taking those hips back, coming up. And at the top, we're going to do a little calf raise, get our calves going as well. So hips back, keep breathing as well. Up, calf raise. So you'll feel your balance is quite hard there as well, particularly with a baby at the front there adding more weight. So take your time through this, don't rush it. And if you wanted to make this harder as well, it's like before, you could just hold little cans or weights, but you definitely don't need to. Good. Go a couple more here. Okay, go 2 more. Nice. So second last exercise, another pelvic floor before we did our long holds. Now we're going to do some quick fire ones just to work on that quick strength of the pelvic floor. So we're going to do 10 up, down. Okay, so ready, let's go. On, off, thinking about those muscles at the back. On, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off. Last one, on, off. Good. Make sure you're properly relaxed through it as well. When you're doing those pelvic floors, shouldn't be like a bracing through our tummy either. You're really thinking about the muscles underneath and squeezing those up as well, so there's no downward pressure. Very good. Last stretch, we're just going to do a bit of a side stretch, a hand on hip, leaning over. Good, and then into the other side. Give those shoulders a nice roll. And we are all done. Good job everyone. I hope you got something out of today's session. I hope you learnt something as well about pelvic floor or muscles that we're using. Enjoy. Let me know how you go.